Hi everybody, so we're on page 153 today. You've already done pie charts on Friday of last week. You did about how you use a pie chart that's in the shape of a pie, obviously, to represent information. So for instance here, if you just put that's half of a pie chart so you can read it, that's a quarter of a pie chart, that's an eighth of a pie chart. So like when you put your lines through your pie chart, you can have it into eighths, or into halves, or into quarters, like that. That's the most easiest way. Now we're going to look at how to actually create our own one. Now you know how to draw a circle from last week. You can make it whatever diameter or radius you want, but it'd be handy to use a protractor if you can. You know, you can use a circular object like a cup or a glass at home as well. It's not the end of the world. But make sure you know where your midpoint is. So it says here anyway in the first one, Dad used this pie chart to show how he spends his time on an average weekday. All right. So Dad's day. All right. So let's look. This pie chart is divided into 24 equal pieces because there are 24 hours in the day. All right. So each one represents an hour. Each sector represents an hour. It's like each small slice of pie is an hour. So Dad spends 2 hours eating. So 2 pieces of the pie chart are colored green, as in up here. Each section that is coloured green is called a sector or slice of the pie. Exactly here. Now, here's the key. He spends 2 hours eating. He spends 6 hours sleeping. He spends 8 hours working. He spends 3 hours driving. He spends 4 hours with family time and 1 hour with chores. Now, you have to draw the pie chart. Okay, so to draw the pie chart would mean that you have to draw this circle into your copy. Now, the most obvious thing is just draw one line down between the midpoint, and that's your half. Then do it across, that's your quarters, and then your eighths. Now, there are 3 eighths in 24 hours, so each eighth would have to be divided into 3. So just do your line down through it like that. And then you have each eighth you divide into 3 space times. That's how you would draw it. It just looks so complicated when you look at it up there. Just divide it first in halves, then quarters, then eighths, and then work your way down from there. Okay? Now, what activities did Dad spend the longest at? That's easy enough to do. This is actually it drawn down here. So he spends the longest time working, the shortest time doing chores. What activities did Dad spend the longest or shortest time doing? We've done that. What fractions did he spend? So just at work. So if he spent 8 hours at work, that's 8 out of 24. So 8/24 would be that answer. They're not too hard to do. What fraction of Dad's day was spent at work and family time? So you would add his work, which is 8, and his family time together, which is 4. That's 12. So 12 out of 24, which is half. Okay, half his day. Now, this is where it gets a bit more complicated. What percentage of Dad's day was spent eating? Now, okay, we'll just look at this now. I have it done out here for you so you can see what we're doing. So spent eating. So let's look at eating. So eating is 2 hours of his day. Okay. So 24 sections is 100%. One section is 100 divided by 24, which is that there. You divide it out, you use your decimals, you work it out as 4.16. So one sector is 4.16%. All right. 2 sectors, which is what it is for eating, is 4.16 multiplied by 2. All right. And that gives you 8.32%. All right. That's rounded off. If you were to do it if you were to just work it out in decimal form, it's 8.33333. But doing it like that means you have it rounded off for you, 8.32%. Okay. So that would be how you would work that out. All right. Now it is hard. Try and do the driving and the working part there as well. Okay. Now, if you go down to question 2, I actually don't think you have to. I think I only asked you to do that part. Yeah, I think you do the second part as well. The complete pie chart from question 1 could be seen like this. So there it is, nicely done out for you. But how did somebody write that? How did someone draw it out? Well, what they do is you have to remember that a full circle is 360 degrees. So do you know when we were doing our degrees, a right angle is 90, a straight angle is 180, and then the full rotation around is 360 degrees. So how would you calculate that? How many degrees represent eating? So in other words, instead of having to draw those lines like that, you could actually easily do it using your protractor. All right. So it says calculate the fraction in its simplest form. So let's say how many degrees represent eating. Again, we're back to our eating, which is 2 of the sectors. So it's 2 out of 24. Can you see that there? 2 out of 24, which is 1/12. Then you find 1/12 of 360. So I have it done here. 2 out of 24 is equal to 1/12 of 360. 1/12 is equal to 360 divided by 12. And when you divide it by 12, you get 30. So eating is 30 degrees. All right. So eating, which is that green part there, is 30 degrees. How then will we work out all the other things, which is what this sector is asking you to do? Time in hours 2. Sleeping, for instance, is 6. So 6 out of 24, which is 3/12. Okay? 3/12. We already know what 1/12 is, which is 30. So 3/12 of 360. If 1/12 is 30 degrees, 3/12 would be equal to 90 degrees. Okay? So keep working along with that. Always find your fraction first and then break the fraction down into the smallest you can. And then you're trying to find the fraction of 360 to fill that part out. Your fraction, write your fraction underneath there, your degrees, then your answer there. So give that a go. Slán, guys.